Also had to give a little bit of a UFO update and put that in the show. Let's put this up there on the screen. Broke earlier this week. The Pentagon, in what is now a tradition at this point, has said it has found no evidence of extraterrestrial spacecraft in its possession. A 63-page unclassified report published says that the most comprehensive report the Pentagon has ever produced. They have batted down claims of any reverse engineering programs inside of the Department of Defense. It was part of the ARROW office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which says that they reviewed records from 1945 to October of 2023 and have definitively been able to find that there has been no evidence of any U.S. government investigation, academic-sponsored research, official review panel that has confirmed any sighting of a UAP that has represented extraterrestrial technology, according to Major General Pat Ryder in this statement. Now, there are a couple of things, though, that they, maybe neglected to point out, and some other glaring things that I wanted to put in there. Let's put this up there, please, on the screen. Actually, Garrett Graff, who wrote an interesting book about UFOs, some of which I have beef about, but it actually raises some good questions. First and foremost, he goes, there are 4 actual questions that are not being answered here. One is the alternative hypothesis of secret tech from foreign nations. 2 is their definition of, quote, what a peculiar characteristic of an aircraft is. 3 is anything about material and any material science breakthroughs by defense contractors. And 4 is, quote, scientists at the forefront of physics point out that we should be humble about how little of the universe that we truly understand and of the knowledge limit that was baked into the report. But I thought that the questions that he raises are very legitimate, Krystal, and I just think it comes back to the idea that an agency which has been unable to pass its own audit for 5 years can effectively now audit all of its historical programs going back to 1945 and claim any sort of legitimacy in the eyes of the public. In my opinion, totally ridiculous, especially when you incorporate many of the questions that Garrett, who is, by the way, a skeptic of a lot of stuff that I would believe, even that he points out in his Wired report.
So this does not close the door for you in terms of...
I mean, how could it? You're like, these people can't account for $1 trillion of their own budget.
The U.S. government being like, nothing to see here, people. We're all good. I did think this article was very interesting because it matched up some of the claims and testimony of people who saw things that they couldn't explain with what the report claims that it was, and pairs that up with past incidents of things that were thought to be UFOs and then were later identified as just advanced U.S. aircraft that the public didn't know about yet. So he writes, AARO untangled one witness's claim of spotting a UAP with, quote, peculiar characteristics at a specific time and place, and were able to determine at the time the interview said he observed the event, the DoD was conducting tests of a platform protected by an SAP, a special access program. That means people don't know about it. The seemingly strange characteristics reported by the interviewee match closely with the platform's characteristics, which was being tested at a military facility in the time frame the interviewee was there. So, Garrett writes, what was that craft and what were its peculiar characteristics? A lot of the questions he raises here is like, okay, so if you're chalking a lot of this up to new technology development, or even more radically, like new potential understandings of physics and the basic mechanics of how the universe works, like, tell us more about that.
Tell us about that.
What is that all about? What are we developing? Because this is one of the things you always point out is typically there's some indication of breakthroughs that are about to be made, or like the science or the math is already worked out theoretically, and it just hasn't been able to be applied in a practical way. So what he's getting from this report is a lot of maybe there are some quite, there may be some quite advanced technology the public has no awareness of that might have been reverse engineered from China or Russia or another global power, and could explain some of these instances as it has in the past.
Maybe it's captured alien tech. I mean, we would know. Like, this is the thing. I say it all the time, as you just referenced, the atomic bomb was an engineering problem. It was not a theoretical problem. There is no theoretical solution for many of the peculiar characteristics, as he points out, for a lot of what is pointed out, or for a lot of what has been described by these people. Maybe they're mistaken. And look, I should also note, 99.99999% are going to have a human explanation. That's the point of actual review. The reason why I don't take anything these people say seriously is that the former director, Sean Kirkpatrick, has conducted himself in a crazy manner and has honestly lied to the American public multiple times now, at least whenever he was under oath and before Congress. That's been disproven by his own staff. 2 is that we still remain and have huge questions from the UFO whistleblower David Grush. One of the main points that he made in his testimony, again under oath, was that defense contractors specifically have been using this audit loophole and the lack of oversight over DoD funding by siphoning off large amounts of funding to then rededicate to material science research as it is then applied to UFOs. Now, is he lying? I don't know. I mean, no one's proven that he's lied yet so far. There have been multiple efforts otherwise to actually obfuscate his testimony and to keep him from testifying in a classified setting to a lot of these people. Apparently, the news is now Krystal actually might be going to work for Congress, which would be great because maybe he can help uncover some of this stuff. My only point is that there is no reason to take anything that these people say and just as definitive when, again, whenever it comes to the law-mandated audit, they cannot account for more than $1 trillion of their own assets 5 years or so in a row. It's like, how are we supposed to believe that you conducted some comprehensive thing going back until 1945? Like all the bureaucratic trickery and all the other things that Garrett Graff lays out too in his piece.
So what happens next, Saagar?
I don't know what else is going to happen next. It's like, we just keep waiting. We just wait and wait and wait. And it's like, we keep getting these fake reports. They assume people will believe it. People keep telling me that, there's going to be some more whistleblowers and others for catastrophic disclosure, especially after what happened with the UFO amendment. It's possible. I don't know. I still wait. I'm a bit despondent now, honestly. I thought Grush would change stuff. I thought more people would come forward. I've been informed that more maybe will, but we'll take it in a case-by-case basis.
All right.
I'll only evaluate it as we can see in terms of what comes to me. But this does not allay any more of my big questions that remain here.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.